2 videos, 1 day.
Eat that, sucker.
Who are we?
I know, we're so behind. We're so sorry. So sorry.
Patty said, do you want to change shirts? Maybe they won't notice. I'm like, my hair is braided on both sides. They're going to notice.
It's fine. Y'all can do.
Yeah. Okay, so this video we're talking about we talked about our first appointment in New Mexico. Now we're going to discuss our first appointment in Washington. At our clinic that we're going to is called ORM. And we really, really love our doctor that's there. Yeah. So to start, we called. They were super quick getting us an appointment. We kind of expected a really long waiting list. Super quick to get us an appointment. She set us up, said, I'm setting up what they call a portal for you, for both you and Patty. Go on there, fill out the information that you can, and then we will go from there during your first appointment. Mm-hmm. So the information asked all of the logistics about like, how long is your cycle and how much caffeine do you drink, and is there any infertility in your family,
and alcohol.
How much alcohol do you consume, and when did you start your period? What age did you start your period? Do you have regular periods? All of that information.
All the things.
And yeah, so we had to fill all of that out, and then it just kind of stays in our portal, and only our case manager, our doctor, and ourselves have access to that portal. So
and it makes it, that's how we communicate too. So if they need something for us to sign, they send it through the portal, we sign it, send it back. It makes it so much easier, especially being 2.5 hours away.
Oh yeah, we're pretty we're not far from our clinic, but I mean, we're about like hour and a half-ish.
Depends on the traffic.
But traffic-wise, we're at least 2 hours out, depending on the time of the day.
Yeah, it's on the Seattle side, so yeah, super difficult. So her name is Dr. Massey. Love her. She's a good doctor. She knows her shit. She's funny.
Yeah, super energetic.
Yeah, we didn't get to do a meet and greet with the doctor in Albuquerque, so it was really nice to actually, meet the doctor who's going to be doing all of your stuff. It made us feel a lot more comfortable to ask her questions and all the information that she could give.
Yeah, so after we filled out our information on the portal, we had our first appointment with them. And she went over all sorts of things, answered all of our questions. And she's the main one that we've had communication with, which is really nice. Our case manager assists in helping set up different appointments and things like that. But it's been really nice to have our actual doctor and get to know her and have that communication with her. So then during that first appointment,
after the meet and greet, she ordered the blood work for like the screening and the genetic test that we both wanted. And then as soon as we were done talking to her, we went down a hallway and did our blood work, and it was super simple.
Yeah. The genetics test isn't required, but it's, what's the word?
Helpful?
I was going to say suggested.
Yeah.
So the genetics testing tells you if you are carriers for any certain recessive genes. Yeah. And then our screening also goes over our hormonal levels, the hormone that helps you be fertile, I don't know, and also gave her information on our amount of eggs that we have, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
She said we were good, so we said, okay, doc, thanks.
Yeah.
Part of the blood work also that's kind of important is it did the CMV, and it did the check for like chicken pox and vaccinations.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It tested for vaccinations, which was needed.
Yeah. So then also during that first appointment, we discussed our different options that we have as a lesbian couple, on how we would like to proceed in the process of creating a little human. So we discussed, because we knew this is the two options that we wanted to discuss, we discussed IUI and IVF, which we'll have another video later about those two. We discussed the statistics on those, what the process is, what the cost is. So that was super nice to have that discussion with her as well within the first meeting. And then she also ordered Patty's HSG during that time to be done. And she kind of said, depending on blood work, depending on your genetic screening, depending on the HSG, that is where it will also help us determine what kind of pathway you want to take and what process you want to use.
It helps determine if I was fertile or infertile.
Right. Or if her uterus was too heart-shaped, which it's not at all. So
Perfect circle, bitches.
is it a circle?
I don't know. It's not a heart shape, though. It's not a square. I hope not. That's awkward. Next thing that I liked was visuals.
Yeah.
I'm a visual learner. She can talk all day, and Alicia just picks it right up, and I'm like, I need to see it. And I got to see it because she would draw on this thing and write out what I needed to do, which we got to take home, which was good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like a to-do list.
And she did them for both of us because she asked if both of us were carrying or who was carrying first. So she discussed all of the things using the visual and wrote notes all over it too, which was very, very nice. Then at the end of our appointment, after our blood work, after the screening was done, those were sent off. The genetics took 2 weeks to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Blood work was about a week, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
And then she sent us on our way, told us, do your HSG. After HSG, call us, set up your next appointment. We will discuss your results from your genetics testing and from all of your other blood work.
She also wanted us to kind of have a narrowed visual of who our donor was going to be.
Yeah.
Because once we have all those things done, then we can officially start the process. So the faster we got all those things done, the faster we can have a baby.
Yeah. And depending on our blood work and the results from the genetics testing would also kind of help determine if we were stuck between 2 or 3 different donors, who we wanted to choose, or who we could choose based on those things.
CMV.
Yeah.
Genetics testing. We'll go over the genetics testing, but we both tested negative for all the things, which she said was super rare.
Because we have perfect genes.
Something.
We're also both O positive.
Mm-hmm.
And Patty is CMV positive and I am CMV negative.
Which is weird.
Which means that I have never contracted CMV in my life, which is also pretty rare. The majority of the population has been exposed and would test positive for CMV. Doesn't mean you have it at the time, just that it's in your bloodstream. Those antibodies are in your bloodstream. Didn't even had a full glass yet. And that you've had it at some point in your life. So,
I think that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bye.